Hello everybody and welcome back to the final Pit and Paddock show for 2024. We'll start with F1 because that's all we have. And for the first time since the 3D printer, it was someone not named Mercedes or Red Bull winning the Constructors' Championship. As Lando Norris won the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix with Ferrari just missing out despite Sainz in second and Mclaren third. It started with a nice, exciting lap one. Verstappen hit Pastry and sent him from second to sucking. Verstappen got a 10-second drive-through for that.
They had the McLaren factory camera set up, and they were not very excited about that first lap.
Oh, I thought that there might be a chance Ferrari could still come back and win it. I mean, that was what they needed. They needed luck.
Yeah. At the same time that was happening, Bottas hit Perez and gave the Mexican driver an early exit from the race and his Formula One career.
That was pretty much it. You get one more lap and then you're done. Yeah. Pastry never recovered from his hit. He ended up in the back and then he hit Pinto on the restart, damaged his wing, and he got a 10-second drive-through. So lots of 10-second drive-throughs in this race.
It really was. Pretty much the rest of the race was a less than exciting game of try to catch Lando, but nobody really could.
Yeah. That was it. Ferrari tried. Charles made it from, 19th all the way up to third.
That was quite the comeback. It was nice to watch Lewis Hamilton dice his way up through the field.
Oh, yeah, after last week's wine fest.
Man, I was like...
I'm just going to park the car.
I want to park. I'm all done.
I'm going to shut it off. All right, but if you do that, you get a 5-second penalty next race.
What?
So that's it for the season. It was just good to see someone else win the Constructors.
That was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
What a long season they have.
Yeah, it's weird having F1 be the last thing and not NASCAR.
Is it March all the way to almost December?
Yeah, 9 months. Somebody could have be a father by then.
Just like a long season.
Verstappen.
Doesn't
he have a baby coming or had a baby or?
I think so.
Did he have the baby?
No, I think a baby. Baby's coming.
Oh, okay. So of course he created a Max Verstappen line of baby clothing.
Max Verstappen Jr.
Well, talking about drivers, it was a sad farewell to Magnussen. Although he did get fastest lap.
Good for
They
him.
brought him in late and gave him some soft tires. Maybe we'll see him in Cadillac Formula One team.
I believe he got a seat with BMW in their new hypercar.
Oh, is that considered sports car?
Sports cars, yeah.
That's the F1 retirement program.
Yep, that or IndyCar.
Yeah.
And he picked sports cars. I think because it's a lot less races than... I think they do like 6 or 8 races in their season.
That's more your speed when you hit your 40s.
Yeah, a little more relaxing. And you get to share your driving with other people. You don't have to do it all yourself.
I don't have to drive the whole car or the whole race.
What happened to the... was it George Russell, Toto Wolff, Christian Horner, Max Verstappen cage match? It should have been like a tag team cage match, all 4 of them together.
Yeah, it was sounding...
After last race.
It was all exciting. Like Max says, I'm going to put your effing head in the wall. George comes out and does a press conference so he can whine about Max being mean. And then Max says something else mean. And I'm like, oh, I thought we were going to get some real good...
Then you got Toto taking shots at Christian and then back and forth. And then they just stopped.
Yeah. What happened? It was looking interesting. And then it was over.
They probably had the Drive to Survive cameras on them at the time. So they were like, hey, say this.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to see that in the spring.
None of them had cameras. I don't think Max does it.
Let's see. Did they take cameras in the steward's room? They should have cameras in the steward's room. We need to see what happens in the steward's room.
I just picture him like drinking heavily and what happened out there? I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I'll just make something up.
Pole dancers off to the side.
Drugs, heavy drug use.
Well, Sergio Perez is almost certainly out at Red Bull. So we've created a list of the top 10 drivers we would like to see have his seat at Red Bull.
Number 10, Sonny Hayes. Big F1 driver, Sonny Hayes.
Yeah, I've seen him on the podium this year.
Apex GP.
Yeah.
Huge. I think he won the Mexico Grand Prix.
Oh, at what, like 62 years old?
62 years
How old
old,
is
I
Brad
believe
Pitt?
he is.
Number 9, Daniel Ricciardo. I think Daniel's still got the magic if you put him in the actual Red Bull car.
I don't know how he could do any worse than what Sergio pulled off the second half of the season.
Yeah.
Number 8, Joe Tonto, in the same area as Sonny Hayes there. Oh, also he can hum while picking up quarters off the track.
Oh, that's right, with his tire.
Mm-hmm.
That was Sylvester Stallone in Driven.
Yeah.
At first, when I saw Tonto, I thought, like, maybe there was some old Western racing. I'm like, who's the hell's Joe Tonto?
I don't know what they were doing with their names in that movie.
Number 7, we went with Cole Trickle, because Cole Trickle could drive a race car.
He came from sprint cars.
Yeah. And Indy cars didn't work out for him because his name wasn't Andretti or Unser.
That's true.
Where are the Unsers anyway? The Unsers like disappeared from racing.
They didn't keep going, it seems like.
Yeah, it's like one of the biggest racing families in history, and then they're just gone after, what, Al Unser's generation?
Al Unser Jr.? Was there another?
Yeah, was there anyone after that?
I don't know.
Not even like a nephew Unser or something? How about a girl Unser? That would work.
I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, Cole Trickle.
Well, after Cole, I guess we should go with Dick Trickle, because that's such a fun name to say.
Dick Trickle sounds like a condition. Doc, I got.
I remember I saw footage of him lighting up a cigarette under caution in the NASCAR race in the 80s once. That was great.
Actually kept a lighter in the car with him and a pack of Marlboros or Winstons. Wasn't it Winston?
Cigarette.
Is it Winston?
Better have been Winston's.
Yeah.
Winston's.
Yeah, that's true. Number 5, Colton Herta, which actually I'd rather see him in the Cadillac F1 team.
Give him a year to warm up in the Red Bull, then he can switch over.
Yeah, so he actually has a shot at some podiums at the Red Bull versus Cadillac. Yeah, hardly anybody comes out of the gate winning races.
It's going to be tough. Number 4, AJ Foyt. Can we have prime AJ Foyt, though? Not current AJ Foyt. He's a little aged.
Oh, like drop a roadster in Milwaukee and beat all the rear engine cars?
Yeah.
That AJ Foyt, yeah. Number 3, Ricky Bobby.
Oh, going to take the fight to John Girard on his home turf.
I would pay money to see Ricky Bobby in a Red Bull car. Although, I don't know if you could get a seat that would work with Ricky Bobby. He's a little big for an F1 driver.
That's, number 2, Mario Andretti. Current Mario Andretti. Could probably still podium in a Red Bull.
I saw him on one of the little mopeds they ride around the pits at the last IndyCar race, and he was still putting the hammer down.
I know he still does the 2-seater, and he gets after it.
Oh yeah, he's what, like 84, and he could still outdrive me. And number 1, the person we would most like to see in the Red Bull car, Kimi Räikkönen.
Yeah,
we all miss Kimi.
My favorite quotes.
Yeah, he had some of the best quotes of all time. The best one was when Hamilton won a championship with McLaren and then switched to Mercedes. And everybody's shocked, and they're interviewing all the drivers, and what do you think about Hamilton? And Kimmy's like, it doesn't really affect me, so I don't care. Well, in the manufacturer race, of course, McLaren won. First time since 1998. I'm so tired of seeing Mercedes.
It really has been. Those two.
Yeah, I mean, Ferrari, before Mercedes started off, it was Ferrari. No, it was Renault. And then...
Yeah, Renault.
Yeah, because Alonso did too, and then Ferrari before that. Yeah, all the way back to 1998. One of the greatest teams. Senna raced the McLarens, did he not?
Yes.
That's Was he in a McLaren or Williams when he was killed?
I think he was with Williams then.
Okay.
But most of his wins came with McLaren.
No, that's a McLaren.
Yeah, that's the McLaren.
That's
when
the
he had
McLaren.
When he was sponsored by the complete white side,
Oh,
and not Marlboro.
they couldn't put Marlboro on the Lego.
No. No. But McLaren was so bad last year too, and even at the beginning of the season they were off pretty badly, and they just turned it around quick.
I want to get the CEO on an interview and ask him, how did you go from, think about them when the formula came out. They were almost dead last.
I remember even a little talk of Zach Brown maybe not making it that long.
Yeah. I was hoping we get Zach on the show since, he owns part of the Phoenix Suns and we're in the state.
I'm sure he will.
But yeah, I'd love to have him try to explain in, low-level layman's terms, how do you go from the worst car at the start of the formula to winning the championship 4 years later? Like, how do you physically make your car that much better over... I mean, and they turned it around with their upgrade. They had a major upgrade, and they went from back of the grid to podium.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I'd like to hear how you do that without Adrian Newey.
I'm impressed.
And he didn't have $1.5 billion.
No, that's true. Alpine ended up beating Haas by 7 points.
Poor Haas. Matt, it was that fluke in Brazil.
That double podium.
Yeah.
In the weather that they...
Yeah. That's what did it.
But I got to say, Haas really turned it around this season. They did fairly well after last season in there.
I miss Gunther, but, what's the Japanese guy's name?
I don't even... You don't hear from this guy a lot, but
No.
he gets the job done. It seems like Gunther you heard from a lot, but they didn't quite get the job done.
Gunther was good for Netflix.
Yes.
Not so good for Haas.
Gene's on the phone.
I gotta call Gene. Well, the biggest question of the season is, what the hell happened to Red Bull? 2 dominant seasons, and they dropped a third. That's not the usual pattern. Usually someone emerges as the dominant team, and then by the last season, one team finally catches up to them.
I think they could have still held on and won it if Sergio finished at where Max did, or a spot behind him, or at least been in the competitive for it. But still, that's still quite the drop-off.
I mean, they did not have the fastest car.
No, like Max was hanging on at the end of the season, and then it took him a few races to get back into the winning groove there.
Yeah. I don't know if they just maxed out that car, like they just couldn't find any more speed and everybody else just caught up.
Everyone caught up. I think they were searching around for barely anything, and everyone else was gaining quick.
Does that mean the formula this time was a good formula?
At the end, not for the first couple seasons.
Well, the first year it was Ferrari,
close.
Red Bull.
Yeah.
And that was pretty good. And then the second year was Ferrari and a little bit of Ferrari and a lot more Red Bull. And then the third season was just all Red Bull.
They took off.
And the fourth year, I mean, I wouldn't give it an A grade. I would give it maybe a C grade because it took so long for the other teams to catch up. But
they did they have the most winners that they've had in a long time?
A long time. I don't think ever. Haas's first season when Grosjean was on the team.
That's right.
They had they had like 5 different winners in 5 different first 5 races, different teams.
You've got this formula did even it out a bit, where you've got like 4 different teams that can win a race.
Yeah.
Usually it's 2, and you get a third one in there with a lucky win.
Maybe it's the budget system.
That's probably what's helping with that a lot.
Because I like the cars. I like the way they look. I'm not a big fan of how huge they are.
Yes, I would like to see that come down a bit.
Yeah, especially at Monaco was a freight train as it was, but with these huge cars, it's even worse.
When they have like the size pattern of an F-150, it's kind of excessive.
When they won't fit in the grocery store parking stall.
Man.
Well, race observations. The Leclerc brothers, Charles and Arthur. Wait, that's what their mom named them? Arthur?
Charles.
Oh, it's Charles. Well, how do you pronounce his brother's name?
Arthur.
Arter?
Something French.
Okay.
Make it sound Frenchy.
They got to run together in FP1, both in Ferraris. Arthur later cried to their mom that Charles got the better car, and that's not fair.
So the parents could afford to get Charles through to F1, but not Arthur? I hope they could at least afford all the therapy he needed to deal with that.
Yeah, just give him a TED Talk. He'll be okay.
Sorry we couldn't get you in. Here's a practice session.
Yeah. Just pretend like you're an F1 driver.
You can do it for a day.
Yeah.
Go give your brother a hug.
He's the good brother, remember? He's the one we're proud of. Just live with it. I love you both the same. Charles. It's Charles. After losing the Constructors' Championship, Leclerc had to go back and do a second podium after the race was over with Brad Pitt for the F1 film. So,
sure, he was more than thrilled.
Yeah. He had to look all happy
Yeah.
and spray champagne.
Can you at least look excited, please?
Yeah, and who was up there with him? George Russell. So one of them, and of course, what's the name of Brad's character? Sonny?
Sonny.
Yeah. Sonny won the race at 67 years old, but at least they got to spray champagne in Brad Pitt's face. That must have been fun.
Oh, we actually get to hear the U.S. national anthem on the podium. Would you go see this movie?
That might be worth just seeing the movie, just to pretend like we can actually see an American driver win an
It's
F1
only been
race.
70 years.
Who was the last one? Andretti?
Probably Andretti.
Yeah.
Or I can't. Could be someone else, but I don't remember. I think it's Andretti. I think it's free practice 2. Colapinto ran over some curbs once again, damaging the Williams. And then they cut to the mechanics, and I see him like underneath the car with a hammer, just like banging on the underbody, NASCAR style. That.
They don't have any parts left.
Just fine tuning on the underbody there.
I'm pretty sure I saw one of the guys mixing up some JB Weld on the side.
Precision aerodynamics.
Yeah, and rivets. I'm certain I saw rivets on the side pod.
Just like, okay, let's just get through the weekend here. This hammer is very cheap compared to more carbon fiber.
We're not gaining any places in the Constructors' Champ anyway. McLaren finished with 666 constructor points and revealed themselves as the Beast of the Apocalypse.
Oh. So that little McLaren swoosh is the mark you're going to want to look for now.
That's the mark of the beast, hands and forehead.
Noted. And I guess after that performance, Lewis Hamilton was not done, as you might have thought in Qatar.
Yeah. There was not as much whining.
No, he put on a good show.
Lewis is pretty hot and cold emotional, isn't he? Like he's either really happy or he just wants to go slice his wrists.
Yes. Very extreme.
We're not promoting wrist slicing YouTube, so don't give me a banner for that one.
They had some tire testing today at the track for next season, and they let Yuki Tsunoda drive the big boy car.
Oh, wow.
Stepping into Sergio Perez's old Red Bull. He got to use a special Red Bull booster seat, but he had to be accompanied by an adult in the car with him at all times.
Did they have to tape little blocks to his feet so he could reach the pedals?
Yes, he 6 months he has to have the adult with him before he can drive by himself.
Then he can drive the real Red Bull. It was announced that 2026 will be the last Dutch Grand Prix, despite Verstappen's extreme popularity. The Dutch promoter cited low profitability due to the Dutch $3 per head fun tax and a proposed 21% value-added tax to entertainment tickets.
Oh. So the FIA was not willing to go Dutch with the sanctioning fee?
No, they were not. Sources say the Dutch are still paying reparations for their Nazi-era activities, too, so they couldn't pitch in.
Those fun tax.
That's fun. It's seriously called
the most European thing I've ever heard.
I mean, like, that's what they call it. I'm sure the official legal name is something, like, extra super lucky value tax.
Sounds very German.
Yeah, they just call it a fun tax.
You seem to be having fun over there? No.
Put your gold star on and pay the tax.
That's kind of a cool track. It's a little narrow, though. But,
yeah, it's a little old and for the modern day cars.
But it's still kind of interesting, and it's nice to have normal tracks in Europe instead of, just going to the Middle East where they pay you billions of dollars in oil cash to go.
Yeah, they pay double sanctioning fees in the Middle East.
I wonder what we're getting instead. Or are they just going to axe a race off the schedule because it's too long already?
I haven't heard a huge amount of whining from the drivers, but maybe they're just not putting it on TV.
We'll find out. It was announced that Ferrari is going to be selling engines to Cadillac in 2026 until they get their engines ready for the next Formula.
So, yeah, Cadillac can't build a Formula One engine that fast.
They can't whip something up overnight, I guess.
Yeah, well, the regular teams still don't have the full rules out. They don't 100% know what they're going to build. Why can't Cadillac gear up? I mean, Andretti's already got the facility built for him.
I don't understand. Well, I guess they couldn't build it. They've had a full year to do it. I guess they don't want to spend the money to do it and run it for 1 year.
We don't want to commit to this Formula One thing too much, so we'll just buy Ferrari engines.
And gearboxes.
What, are they Haas Jr. now?
Yeah, that's what I...
What are they building? Are they going to have Dallara build their chassis too?
Well, let's not talk about it.
All right.
And we're changing our name back to Andretti once.
I keep seeing memes with a Trojan horse that says Cadillac on it, and then inside the Trojan horse is Andretti.
All right, guys, we're in officially. Yes!
Bait and switch.
Andretti F1, the first race they're in, they unveil a banner and laugh.
Andretti Cadillac.
Well, coming up next for Formula One, gardening leave.
Oh.
Until the Australian Grand Prix next March.
So they get a 2.5 month break?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little while.
That seems slim for Europeans.
I don't know. How are they going to survive?
Who came up with the term gardening leave anyway? I hear that a lot from the Europeans.
Sounds British.
It does sound pretty British. Well, in NASCAR news, Kyle Busch referred to 2024 as a character-building year. What does that mean?
That's NASCAR speak for an absolute freaking disaster.
Yeah, he didn't have a good year, did he?
No. No wins. Broke that streak. Terrible.
Our sources saw him at an Abu Dhabi bar with Sergio Perez. They're hanging out now.
He didn't get kicked out of his seat, though. At least he's got that.
There's no more NASCAR news.
That's it for NASCAR news.
They're on hunt and fish leave.
That's what they do. Hunt and fish leave.
Europe's gardening leave, Americans hunt and fish. Hey, it is late elk season in the West, so I had a late elk hunt and did not get an elk. My wife's not happy.
Maybe next time.
Yeah. I honestly was thinking I was going to give that tag to one of the veterans groups you can donate to the specific, like you can't sell your game tag in any state. They have severe fines, but you can donate it to certain like veterans groups or inner city youth groups.
Oh.
And I was going to donate it, but none of my kids got an elk, so I had to go.
Moving on to IndyCar, where there's a little bit of news. IndyCar team DRR, is that some sort of accounting firm?
They all start to sound like accounting firms.
They're going to be having 2 Indy 500 entries with Ryan Hunter-Way and Jack Harvey, trying for one full-time team for the season. I'm guessing they need money.
Oh, I hear the Harris campaign had some money.
Oh,
Like $1.5 billion.
that's gone now.
How do you spend $1.5 billion on in like 2 months?
Launder it, or just pay celebrities hundreds, millions of dollars to show up and sing for 10 minutes.
Why didn't we? We would have promoted the campaign for, just $1 million.
Good for $1 million.
Yeah. In other news, Devlin DeFrancesco. Who the hell is that?
Francisco.
Oh.
He
He's going to drive the number 30 Ray Hall car. And, I don't know who that is.
was a former underperforming Andretti driver. They also needed money.
Oh, is he a pay-to-play driver?
There it is.
Yeah, I thought they had good sponsors at Ray Hall, like United Auto and...
They had, I think Hy-Vee left.
Oh,
Hy-Vee was their big...
What was that, Takuma?
That was... I think they just moved on.
To a team that can win races?
Probably.
Yeah, we're not getting much return on this, $5 million investment, so we're out of here.
Logan Sargent and Jamie Chadwick passed on an IndyCar seat to drive for Hyundai.
Is it that easy to steal Hyundai, where you just stick a key in the column?
It's almost as easy as stealing the Korean government.
Martial law. Why? There's some bad people out there, and they're for North Korea. Yeah, that was like the thinnest, the thinnest ever declare martial law I've ever heard. Everybody's like, wait, what? Even the State Department was like, wait, what?
What?
You just declare martial law because you want to?
Can you do that?
Yeah.
I don't think you can do it. That's kind of disappointing. I thought Chadwick would be able to be a pretty decent IndyCar driver after, pretty soon, actually.
Is that the female driver?
Yeah. She won a race last year at Road America in the Light Series.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait, she wasn't F1? Was she F1 for a while?
She did. She won the Academy Series, 3 years in a row.
Oh, the all-girl challenge?
Yeah.
Oh, well. Maybe she can get a ride on Nico Rosberg's, E-team.
And Logan Sargent can go crash Hyundais.
Yeah. They're a lot easier to crash, too. Penske showed the IndyCar teams a rendering of the proposed 2027 IndyCar spec. I took a look at this proposed thing, and it looks like the preschool version of an F1 car.
Is the push the pass built directly into the Penske cars?
Only the Penske cars. I did like the fact that it had the halo instead of that stupid windscreen that makes the Indy cars look like a sports car with the top chopped off.
Oh. Did they release the pictures of it, or?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, well, we got some pictures. We can post them up for anyone that's watching on video.
Oh, okay.
If not, I don't know, just do a search for 2027 IndyCar. I'm sure it'll pop up.
Yeah. 2027.
27, sorry.
That's when it's supposed to come out.
Yep.
Can't wait till that's pushed back again.
Yeah. There was talk about trying to keep as many parts of the current car as they could to keep costs down, because that always seems to be a thing with
That
IndyCar.
car's freaking 15 years old now.
Oh, I know. Apparently, Adrian Newey weighed in and said, you know what? Nobody watching races cares that you have a smaller radiator or a, pull rod suspension. They want to see an interesting car. So it did look interesting. The rear wing was kind of that throw-up rear wing like Formula One has now.
Oh, does it have the big side boxes?
It's got, not so much, but it's got the wing curves out. It's almost like you took your ball cap and flipped it up kind of thing.
Interesting.
Kind of looks like that. Well, in other news, Heinrich and Bakler, I don't know, it's German, so I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Heinrich and Bakler, they're going to run a full-time IMSA GTD. I have no clue who those guys are, but I only brought it up because they have a 77 pink monster Porsche with shark teeth painted on the front.
Okay.
That somehow looks gay and scary at the same time.
Oh, like the Biden administration then.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Still looks scary. Well, since this is the last show of the season, we have a special season-ending event. Sounds like a sale.
It does. 10% off.
We're doing the best 10 racing movies of all time. So, we'll start with number 10.
My number 10 is Driven. It's somehow the worst racing movie, but also the best racing movie in a Mystery Science Theater kind of way.
Oh, yeah, it's got the scene where Sylvester Stallone decides, oh, no, now I really want to win the race. And he suddenly shifts to another gear that he didn't have the whole time.
I love the shift. Oh, no. Shift? That's a Fast and the Furious classic also.
Yeah.
Oh, Shift.
My number 10 is Grand Prix. I mean, I know it's supposed to be some kind of a generational defining film, just not our generation.
Some real great racing footage in that one, if you want to see how tracks used to look.
Yeah, that's true. Number 9, I went with Stroker Ace. Charlie Daniels said Stroker Ace was born to race.
I also had Stroker Ace. That's a pretty fun name to say, first of all.
Yeah. Burt Reynolds was Stroker Ace, wasn't he?
Burt Reynolds is pretty awesome.
He had a mean streak 3 feet wide. Is that the one where he had to like dress up in a chicken costume because he didn't read his contract before he signed it?
Oh,
that was a great one.
Pretty interesting movie. My number 8 is Gran Turismo. I did not go in expecting a lot, but turned out to be a pretty good movie.
Yeah, we were unanimous on number 8, Gran Turismo. I learned that apparently Legolas is not immortal.
Oh.
Because that actor looks a whole lot older.
Yeah. Don't forget it's based on a true story. They won't let you forget that.
They do mention that a few times, don't they?
They really do.
For number 7, that's where I had Driven. I mean, it was kind of fun. I like it when the guy gets upset and takes the show car and drives it around the streets of Chicago or wherever the hell they are. And then you learn why they weld down the manhole covers in a race, a street race.
That is part is, I think, actually true. That would happen.
Yeah.
Well, you saw, was it Carlos Sainz in Las Vegas?
Oh.
When they didn't, that one part came up. That's what happens when you don't weld down.
That wasn't even a manhole. That was a water.
It's just a.
Well, it was a smaller. It was like fourth the size.
Yeah.
And it was, and they had it welded down, but the concrete collar, right? Because you set those in a concrete, and then the concrete is in the asphalt. The concrete came apart.
How? I can't imagine how heavy that is, and so how much force would have to be pulled up on it to lift.
Oh yeah, it's
That's
like
amazing.
The concrete's like 4 inches around the outside of the cover, and then it's probably a foot deep. Like that's a lot of concrete. The concrete just broke.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Where are we?
Number 7. I had Driven.
I had Le Mans, which I would put it in the same kind of category as Grand Prix. Which brings me to my number 6, which is Grand Prix.
You had it all the way up to 6?
I did. I like that one. I like less talky movies.
For number 6, Ford versus Ferrari.
Mm.
That was actually kind of cool. I liked how they worked in what was going on at Ford and what was going on at Ferrari.
That was a good movie.
Yeah.
Mine, I've got that one a little bit higher there.
Yeah. And the actor that played the driver, I just lost his name.
Christian Bale?
Yeah. No, yeah. Christian Bale was the actor. He did a really good job. He's a good actor. Number 5, I went with Herbie the Love Bug. Great racing movie.
Is this the one where Lindsay Lohan runs Herbie in a NASCAR race?
No, not the remake. I mean the old one from like the 70s where like somebody puts whiskey in Herbie's gas tank on accident and and he runs
drunk.
better. Yeah.
It's a drunk car.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think something like that went on but yeah, it's
hilarious.
the old Herbie.
I did like those ones. I haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah.
But that
There's
was
a bunch of them like Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo and Herbie Gets Woke. Like,
Oh, the new one.
yeah, that's the remake.
Mine was Cars. I liked Cars.
That was a good one. I actually never saw the movie.
With
The whole movie.
The whole all
I
together?
didn't. I saw. Yeah, I never saw the whole thing all the way. I did the ride at Disneyland though.
I have been on that too.
What did you like about Cars?
It had a lot of the drivers making guest appearances in the movie.
Was Richard Petty in that one?
Yes.
Right
I had
on.
Richard Petty, I saw Lewis Hamilton, and Jeff Gordon, and I don't know, there's quite a few. Number 4, Rush, for me.
Unanimous.
Unanimous. It was a great reminder of how ridiculous F1 and racing in general was in the 70s.
I picked it because James Hunt is my all-time favorite F1 driver. I'm just imagining, what would James Hunt say if the FIA told him he's going to get fined for cussing on the radio? He would flick a cigarette at them
I feel
and
like
then go dance with a pit girl.
I feel like he would smoke during the race if he could too.
I know.
If wasn't so much wind, he'd have a cigarette on.
James Hunt might have the greatest cool factor of all time in Formula One.
Did he win the championship and did he retire after that?
Yeah, he just finished a race and walked off and said, "I'm done," and never raced again. My number 3 was Cannonball Run, based on an actual illegal cross-country race. Great movie. Plus, you get to see Terry Bradshaw and Mel Tillis drive a stock car.
That one's pretty fun.
Yeah.
I had Ford vs. Ferrari at number 3. My only issue with that movie is the offensive attempt to pass off California Speedway as Daytona for the Rolex 24.
Why couldn't they just film it at Daytona?
I don't know, but every time I see it, it makes me angry.
Yeah, because I've been to California Speedway.
Daytona's got huge banking, and then they show it in the movie, and it's got that California Speedway 12-degree banking.
Do they just tilt the camera a little bit or something and make it look like Daytona? Yeah, I recognize the pits as California.
With those suites behind them.
Yeah, they ripped that one down.
Yeah, it's
gone.
about gone now.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw an IndyCar race there when Danica Patrick was still in the IndyCar race. And they have, pre-race, all the cars are lined up on pit row with the drivers getting into them. And from the stands, you can see that, 90% of the media is around Danica Patrick's car. Who's, way back, in the back of the pack somewhere. And the guy on pole, nobody's talking to the guy on pole like Hinchcliffe. Something like that.
Sorry.
That's in Fontana, California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to the last NASCAR race there.
Oh, did you? When we went, the firm I worked for at the time was based in California, and I asked them, I'm like, what's a good hotel around Fontana? And they're like, why do you want to stay in Fontucky?
I stayed in some crappy airport or crappy hotel near the airport. It was $80 a night.
Fontucky?
Yep. But I was by myself, so I wasn't really.
Not as much. Remember we went to Sonoma Raceway for IndyCar?
Oh, yeah.
We stayed in San Francisco.
Probably wouldn't stay there now.
Yeah. Well, we didn't realize how cold San Francisco gets in August.
It's a little chilly.
Yeah, it really. And then it's boiling hot out at Sonoma in the daytime. It's a strange place. Number 2.
Number 2. Talladega Nights.
Unanimous
on that one. I've kind of heard that this movie sets NASCAR back because of all the stereotypes. But they're wrong because it's hilarious and quotable.
Help me, Jewish God. It's my favorite. I like the whole scene where they're doing the prayer and they start debating what Jesus they like best. I like little baby Jesus. Dear Lord God, baby Jesus.
That movie is something else.
We're NASCAR people, and we're more hickish than F1 people, and we thought that was funny. And every hick NASCAR person I know thought that movie was funny. Okay, number 1. The number 1 movie, we need sound effects like a swoosh or something. So just imagine, swoosh. Number 1 movie, unanimous agreement, was Days of Thunder. I think it gave a lot of real insight into how NASCAR works. And, you could kind of see how things go together and how a stock car works. And it fits the Tom Cruise movie pattern. Every Tom Cruise movie. Tom Cruise is a good pilot, driver, spy. Tom Cruise has a crisis of confidence. Tom Cruise meets girl. Girl helps Tom Cruise regain confidence and become a better pilot, driver, spy, or whatever. That's the Tom Cruise film pattern.
Oh, it works for the sequels also.
Yeah, works for every Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah, I think it did a great job of introducing a lot of people to NASCAR back in the early 90s.
Yep.
Had a great soundtrack and also had a lot of good quotable lines. And that car building scene in the barn.
Oh, yeah. I'm building a race car in a barn.
Meeting ice cream. Just, that was a fun movie.
You can't pit now. We're having an ice cream.
I like it.
That was a great movie.
Well, that was my top 10.
That's the top 10. I don't know. There's a few more racing movies out there, but there's...
We didn't do any documentaries because
Oh, yeah, no.
I didn't want to watch any because...
You know, honorable mention, Six Pack. You got to go back. Kenny Rogers.
Oh, that's right.
Low level, like Bush, not even Bush series level, like ARCA level NASCAR driver.
I've heard of that, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, and like 6 orphans who become his pit crew or something. I don't know. It's been a long, long time. I think it's the 80s version.
Sounds like a movie.
But yeah, that's honorable mention.
You think the Brad Pitt F1 movie is going to be any good?
I mean, I hope so, because most of Brad Pitt's movies are good for, you know, like an action movie, you know, not like award-winning, Academy Award-winning movies, but good action movies. But I don't know. I don't know if you can make a good race film in today's world. There's so many wussies out there with an opinion that I don't know if are they gonna dumb it down or wokeify it to please the Hollywood crowd?
The thing that makes me hopeful about it is the director, and I think maybe I don't know, the people that are working on it are the people that did the Maverick, Top Gun Maverick. The
new one?
Yeah.
That was a good movie.
Which came out really well, so hopefully it works out.
Yeah. We actually, I went to see that with the family, and we sat down with the kids to watch the original Top Gun, and immediately forgot how inappropriate that movie was for children.
Surprise.
We're watching the early scene where all the pilots are in the ready room, and we're like, oh, wait a minute, we forgot about this movie.
Isn't it still rated like PG or something?
Yeah.
From back then? That was a little different PG at the time.
It would be at PG-13 today or more.
Well, I guess that's the end of our first year. We've worked to make it better. Hopefully entertaining and also informative. A little bit informative.
Yeah, if you have comments about our first year, you can put them into the chat box of whatever platform you're viewing on, or you can email us at wewon'treadit@pnp.com, because we won't.
Then maybe tell 2 friends about us. The more people that subscribe, the closer we get to making this a full-time show with actual jokes.
Yeah, I would like to do more than once a week. Like a pre-race, and a race is coming up this week, and then a post-race show.
That would be fun.
Yeah, but it's hard enough to do one show.
Yeah, we could hire a team of writers to just write everything.
I hear some of the late night shows don't use writers anymore, or at least that's what it seems like when you listen to their jokes.
Oh. Do they still have late night shows?
Yeah.
Huh.
On cable, too. People still watch cable shows.
Wow.
Not a lot. There's probably more people watching, streamers than there are watching late night cable or cable news.
They're actually entertaining.
Yeah. We are planning to come back from winter break early to do a special Dakar show, because only 23 days until Dakar. Oh, crap. I forgot to wear my Dakar shirt.
Oh, well.
I'll wear it when we do the special Dakar show. January 3rd, we'll do a little informative about just what Dakar is and how it came to be, and why it's no longer in Dakar.
I'll be pretty starved for racing by then, so that should be fun to do.
Yeah. Have you seen, there's a guy on, I think, Instagram that does, once he gets to like 30 days without F1, And then he does like a weekly, you know, 37 days without F1. And it's like, I cut a tenth of a second off my path home today. Just, 100 days without F1, and he's using pasta and toilet paper in the grocery store to make an F1 car. I got to find what the Instagram account is, but he's pretty funny. That's it. When is the first race? Is March? When's Daytona? March or February?
February.
All right, so we'll be back mid-February.
Back in February.
After Dakar. Have a good Christmas.